Well, it's that time of the year again, where fans of cinema outside the US time zone ask themselves the question, do I want to stay up for the Oscars this year? Judging by the Oscars' declining ratings over the years, more and more people have been skipping the most prestigious night in Hollywood, wherever you are in the world. The drop in viewership also reflects their loss in relevancy. The Academy Awards simply cannot compete with our oversaturated pop culture, unless the host gets slapped. They also don't have the same impact they once did on the box office. But it's not karma for all the times they have awarded a film so undeserving that it made us have frustrating conversations with our parents and other casual moviegoers. The reason is simply that the media landscape is changing, and so is the film industry. But some things don't change, and I would argue that the power of an Oscar for a filmmaker's creative liberty is still one of them. When hearing and reading stories about studio execs that just don't get it, it pains me to think about all those amazing original ideas that never got greenlit. But what does help is that I was never in those rooms to hear those amazing pitches to begin with. Slamming suits and ties is too easy, I admit it. And at the end of the day, it is a business, and not everyone gets a blank check, or even final cut for that matter. Even if you're Martin Scorsese, David Lynch, John Waters, Kaufman, Fincher, Coen Brothers. So it's not enough to make a great film that has critical acclaim and has staying power. Especially now that DVD sales no longer grant films a second life. But some directors do get that creative and financial luxury. Very few, but some. How? Well, by being good business. Their films sell. But most filmmakers don't have such status and aren't interested in making films about things that are known to be a sure sell, such as films about superheroes, space wars, fast cars, and dinosaurs, aka the Christmas toy wish list of a 10-year-old boy. But that's where the awards economy comes into play. Because slapping 5-star reviews and quotes from a random magazine on a poster just isn't enough these days. The Palme d'Or, the Golden Lion, the Golden Bear, and the biggest of them all, the Golden Man, the Oscar. Why is it the biggest of them all? It's not because it's awarded by a more knowledgeable and esteemed bunch. No. It's because it's Hollywood. It's where most of the money flows. The major film festivals such as Cannes, Venice, Berlinale, Sundance, and TIFF are all festivals that pride themselves on putting art first. That's not entirely the case, but I'll make a video on their paradoxical nature some other time. Those festivals are where our heads turn to for the best international and independent films of the year. And getting awarded at an established film festival almost functions as the starting pistol for the Academy Award run. Let's look at some of this year's nominees for an example. Anora, Palme d'Or winner at Cannes. Emilia Perez, Jury Prize and Best Actress at Cannes. The Substance, Best Screenplay at Cannes. The Seed of the Sacred Fig, Special Award at Cannes. The Brutalist, Best Director in Venice. I'm Still Here, Best Screenplay in Venice. A Real Pain, US Dramatic Screenwriting Award at Sundance. Back in October when I went to see I'm Still Here at the London Film Festival, I had no issues securing a ticket. There was a short Q&A after the film, and I don't think the screening had sold out until a week prior. But after its surprising Best Picture nomination, the previews for it over at the BFI have been selling out constantly. I mean, look at its poster on IMDb. The Best Picture nomination title is as big as the film's title itself. There's no denying that awards or even a nomination simply increase excitement and demand over a film. It also helps that the award season, which encompasses all the other award ceremonies, such as the Golden Globes, SAG, DGA, and so on, so basically the pre-drinks for the Oscars, keep the conversation around those films alive. And the star power and glamour associated with those ceremonies allow it to break into the mainstream, resulting in my mom asking me if she should watch the film that Demi Moore is in. The award system is the ecosystem in which independent, international, or auteur films are pushed to thrive in by their distributors. These awards don't just help sell a film, but they also increase the value of the people and studios that are involved with it. Award ceremonies are another necessary evil in selling and marketing auteur cinema, because very few of them feature spaceships or dinosaurs. And I'm here to argue that the success of great films by great filmmakers does concern us lovers of film. Saying that Oscars don't matter is simply not true. Director Park Chan-wook, who was soured by the Academy snub of his latest film, Decision to Leave, told The New Yorker it would be hypocrisy to say that art is the only thing that matters. If you get an award, it might mean you have more power, more creative freedom in your next project. It might mean you can have a bigger budget. Maybe you can have more freedom and a bigger budget, depending on how big the award is. And they don't come bigger than the Oscar. As I have said before, it pains me to think about all those great ideas and movies that never saw the light of day. But what can help make them a reality is an Oscar, even a nomination. An Oscar helped Bong Joon-ho receive more fame in Hollywood and make a big budget sci-fi blockbuster where he was granted final say. After his first film, it took Barry Jenkins 8 years to get Moonlight off the ground. But after his Oscar, he was immediately booked and busy with his next film, If Beale Street Could Talk, and then later his TV series, The Underground Railroad. Damien Chazelle was able to realize 2 of his passion projects, La La Land and Babylon, after breaking into Hollywood with his nominations for Whiplash. Jane Campion, who was basically radio silent for a decade, is now working on another project after the recent success of The Power of the Dog. Justine Triet was asked by Steven Spielberg to write for him, and she also reportedly has 2 other projects in development. Through his most accessible work with The Favorite, Yorgos Lanthimos scored 10 Academy Award nominations, another 11 with his more ambitious work Poor Things, and now from the looks of it, he has no issues getting his projects greenlit, no matter how bizarre they are. Edward Berger, prior to All Quiet on the Western Front, was mostly a TV director, and now has another Best Picture nominee in his hands with Conclave, featuring an all-star cast. On top of this, he has 3 other Hollywood productions in the pipeline. Celine Song immediately got to shoot her sophomore film with A-list actors such as Dakota Johnson, Pedro Pascal, and Chris Evans, after Past Lives. Luca Guadagnino's career off the back of Call Me By Your Name, Jordan Peele with Get Out, Guillermo del Toro with The Shape of Water, Greta Gerwig, Noah Baumbach, Emerald Fennell, even Peter Farrelly. After Green Book's award success, it seems he wanted to try his luck with another project that the Academy might eat up: The Greatest Beer Run Ever. A real-life dramedy taking place during the Vietnam War, but it was trashed, so it seems he's back to making his usual shtick. Adam McKay's career also took a big turn after the success of The Big Short, transitioning from goofball comedies to more politically charged films like Vice and Don't Look Up. There's also the fact that him and Will Ferrell kind of had a falling out, but long story short, the Academy Awards are basically career-altering. Career-altering for filmmakers, I need to emphasize, because I think with actors and actresses it's an entirely different story, which might be a topic for another day. Also, you might have realized that I didn't mention the last 2 Best Director Oscar winners, Christopher Nolan and the Daniels. The reason is because they're kind of exceptions. With Nolan, he's had a blank check for almost a decade now. But even with him, Oscar nominations helped his career move forward back in 2002 with his Best Screenplay nomination for Memento. The Daniels, well, Everything Everywhere All at Once pretty much brought the house down when it came out. They had every eye in Hollywood goggle at them, and Universal Studios kept their hands quick because they signed a 5-year deal with them way before their foreseen Oscar sweep. Now, I'm sure that it hasn't been the same case for every filmmaker that was able to walk the red carpet into the Oscars ceremony. I'm sure there's way more headaches and studio politics involved with it than I would know. But simply put, the prestige associated with an Oscar enhances the credibility of a filmmaker, attracting investors, studios, and A-listers for their next project. Everyone wants to be on board for what they're gonna do next. And in this industry, your next film is simply not a given. Getting your film financed is a big headache, and even if you get the money, it might come at a creative cost, limiting you to what you can do with your material. If you're active on any online film discourse, you might have heard the term director jail. Director jail basically refers to directors who haven't had a project made in a long time. Filmmakers who seem to be unable to bounce back from a slump. At the end of the day, it is a cutthroat business, and studio execs just don't want to bet on losing dogs. We cannot minimize the importance of the Oscars to just an award ceremony. It simply has a huge grasp on the industry because, frankly, it is the industry, and the industry decides what films we get. So as an avid lover of film, it's tough not to care about them as much as they boil my blood. I'm going back to what Park Chan-wook has said. It's not a meritocracy, it's a business where awards simply mean power. And I think that's why it's exciting to see deserving talent in films get awarded. It feels like a win for us film fans, not because what we like gets validated, but because it indicates more potential financing for great art. Keeping up with awards and nominations even is like having your finger on the pulse on where the industry is headed and which filmmakers we might see more of. And in many ways, the Oscar announcements are just as exciting because they seem to kickstart careers just as much. But obviously, there's a lot more to discuss with the Oscars. Topics such as how they diminish film discourse, the politics over art, the endless press run that filmmakers are subjected to, and how that can be a financial burden for independent filmmakers. How unorthodox nominees such as The Substance, Get Out, Everything Everywhere All at Once help change the landscape for what we know as Oscar bait, and many, many more topics. But this channel is here to stay, so hey, tune in. Next year I'll talk about something else, maybe one of these topics. But what do you think? I would love to know. There's sometimes good discourse happening on the comment section of this channel, which makes me very happy, and sometimes it's just people arguing. We'll see what it's gonna be for this one. Either way, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed it, and my next video will be on non-actors. This is not a joke. This time I'm serious. Non-actors video coming out soon. Bye!